Okay, so I'm just going to make a quick start now, and then just kind of basically show you, or tell you a little bit about HubGem, myself and my colleague Maddie, and just basically say hi and let you know who we are and what we do. Okay, so I just go on to the next slide here. So to begin with, my name is Sophie and I am a HubGem growth consultant. I have been at HubGem for about a year, and my background is in education marketing, in particular a independent school where I worked within a team in marketing and admissions. The team that I actually worked in consisted of the HubGem team, which is Gemma, our CEO, and my colleague Hannah as well. So we all work together in this department, and we actually started to use HubSpot at that point too. So we loved HubSpot so much, and obviously HubGem was born when Gemma left that role and decided to open up HubGem. So we work with a number of schools internationally, and we basically help schools to utilize HubSpot, whether they've already got it or they're looking to purchase it and wanting to get set up. We offer a range of different services, and we really are massive HubSpot enthusiasts. We love HubSpot for education. We've seen what it can do, and we just want to share the message and help anybody who has HubSpot and those who are maybe thinking about using HubSpot in the future, and show you exactly how you can use the tools in HubSpot for education marketing in particular. So I hope these sessions are useful for you. We have actually also got a number of upcoming sessions every month, and each of these sessions are going to be basically following the kind of journey between admissions and marketing and prospects as they kind of show interest in your school initially, all the way through their kind of conversations with you as a school and their admissions journeys, right through to application. And we're going to be following that process with our sessions here on our Hug events. So just to let you know, we will be sharing a recording of this session afterwards, and we'll share that with you via an email. We'll also be sharing a lot of free resources for you to be able to utilize when you have finished this session, and I'm sure there'll be a lot you can hopefully take from this as well and begin to use. So the tools that we're going to provide you with after this will hopefully enable you to do that a little bit easier. My colleague will be joining us today, as you can see, Maddie, who is kindly in the chat, kind of greeting you all as you come in, and obviously will be here assisting throughout the whole kind of day today, well, the hour. So Maddie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Maddie, as Sophie already said. Yeah, so I'll be in the chat box. If you need anything, let me know. Also like to point your attention to the Q&A section. Any questions you have, just pop them in there and then Sophie will answer them at the end. But I've got to say about myself, I'm too busy talking about the Hug. I'm marketing executive. I'm a recent graduate from University of Lincoln. So I didn't start at HubGem too long ago, but I'm absolutely loving it. I'm learning so much, but yeah, so fun. So excited to be here and I hope you all enjoy the session.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Maddie. Okay, I'm looking forward to actually speaking to all of you at the end as well. So we will have a Q&A to finish the session, where you can ask any questions. Also, Lester, I can just see, yes, we will be sharing the recording. It will be in an email and we'll send it out with the free resources as well. So you can watch anything back if you weren't sure about something or you wanted to revisit anything that we've mentioned today. Okay, so this session today is all about using campaigns to plan, execute, and report on your education marketing. So throughout this session, the main agenda is going to be basically showing you how to use marketing tasks in HubSpot and the specific tools that are used in order for you to begin planning your campaigns within HubSpot. Next, we're also going to be showing you how to create each of the marketing assets that create your campaign as a whole. And we'll be breaking this down and showing you examples. And we have some kind of video examples throughout as well, and some kind of images of where exactly you can find each of these tools and assets that will create your campaign. We're also going to be showing you how to report on your marketing campaigns, and also sharing the best tips and uses of the campaigns and education tricks that we kind of would recommend, that we've used, that we've seen other schools use when we have been working with other schools, and just kind of general inspiration really for you to really get the most out of those tools. As I appreciate HubSpot has a whole host of tools, and it can get a little bit overwhelming. And when you've been using HubSpot for a while, or if you're new to it, you may not be sure where to start, or may find that you haven't been utilizing the tools as much as you could, just because there is so much to know. And I look forward to sharing that with you. There will be a Q&A at the end as well, so we can go through any other bits if you do have questions along the way. Okay, so I've pretty much said what I've said on this slide, so we're going to just swiftly move on from there. Okay, so just a little kind of brief recap to begin. With campaigns, they are obviously made of multiple components, and that all goes into the overall planning and execution of your campaigns. So you're going to basically overall benefit from a stellar marketing campaign. You're going to be beginning with obviously setting your initial goals and your key performance indicators, identifying what the end goal of your campaign is, and how you're going to measure that, and also looking into how your results are going to affect any future campaigns. So for example, your open day sign-ups, or an increase in a year group interest perhaps. Channels as well, we're going to be looking at obviously where your content and messaging can be distributed for your campaign. So it's always worth, when you're initially setting your goals and KPIs, exploring what channels you're going to be using for your campaign fully. So whether that's social media, obviously it can be ads, it can be anything that you would like. Basically, as long as it is best suited to your audience that you're trying to attract in that campaign, then you can plan away basically at this point and just kind of choose those channels that are best suited for that campaign. Budget is obviously very important for your campaign. I'm sure you all know this. Obviously, it's a great way to just make a general starting point and start planning that initial kind of campaign out. So it's a very important thing to consider, additional costs, and also factor those into any kind of return of investment analysis for your campaign overall. Your content format will determine what kind of content you will be creating in order to fuel your campaign. So this could include print, video, social, email, but it is important to bear in mind what your audience engages with the most. And it's a good idea at this point, if you ended up checking into last week's event, that personas, it can be used in a really nice way here. So that's a really nice one for you to kind of help build your content on. Your team is obviously absolutely key to your marketing campaigns, and we're going to be showing you a number of different ways you can utilize the tools in HubSpot as a team to help you communicate better throughout your campaign. So obviously you can see things such as what your team members are up to, and you can plan before the campaign and establish your team's roles. So what each kind of team member will be doing in that campaign, such as copywriting, someone might be doing your social media ads, graphics, things like that. So the design, so it's always important just to have a general overall noteworthy design and have it consistent across all the platforms that you're using for your campaign to keep it in line with your brand and your overall campaign messaging. Okay, so just to kind of touch on, there are actually a number of different campaigns that we can use. There's things such as product marketing, brand development, email marketing, campaign, content marketing, user-generated content. There are so many different avenues to go down with this. So I appreciate it's a very kind of broad topic. So in this session, we're going to be following a bit of a structure in regards to campaigns and how you're putting them together in HubSpot. So we're going to begin with the initial tools on how to plan your campaign using HubSpot campaign tools. So to begin with, we're going to look at segmentation and view tools in HubSpot in order to help you really manage your campaigns and plan them from the get-go within your HubSpot. So I'd recommend, so when you go into your initial kind of view, if you like, of your campaign tab, you're going to see a option that says manage. And you can see I have circled it on this screen here. It's just on the top, which is just here. In the Manage tool, there's going to be an option to segment your views based on the type of campaigns that you are running. So this is great for schools, as I appreciate schools have a lot of campaigns running all the time. So for example, if you have an open event, maybe an early year recruitment campaign that you have ongoing every year at a certain time, or an international recruitment campaign that you have, you can basically segment these into your own personal views. So you can see in the larger picture on the slides, you have obviously your manage calendar and tasks at the top, and then underneath that highlighted, we've got campaigns starting this quarter, open days, and alumni. And each of these sections are segmented groups of campaigns that you may use kind of on a reoccurring basis on the kind of yearly on your yearly schedule, and it might be nice for you to just kind of see those views from the get-go when you go into your campaign and on your HubSpot portal. This view can actually be personalized as well. So if you wanted to maybe just see your maybe managing the open day campaign and you just want to see that, you can just have that on there and your view will be different from the rest of your teams. It can be completely personal to you, which is really great. So once you've pinned your personal views, you can also use the colors, which you can see associated here. So on this example, we have red associated to the open event campaigns. You can also have things like green for international, you can have purple for alumni, and it just really helps you to further segment that data in your HubSpot portal, keep it nice and tidy, and it makes it quite visually pleasing as well, of course. But it just basically makes it all feel a lot more organized and coordinated. And if you're working on this as a team, it's nice to have a kind of in-brand campaign code, if you like. So you have like the red for open events and so on. So your overall table view as well can also be personalized. So in this example, you can see we have the campaign name. We also have the campaign owner, and then created at date and campaign budget showing. If you'd like to see any difference kind of details on each campaign from a first glance, then you can change these again based on your personal preference. So for example, if a member of your admissions team who are a part of your team in this campaign would like to see certain kind of figures in regards to your campaign, then they may change their view to just show kind of mainly like figure-based data on here. But it can be completely personal based on what you would like to see. So segmentation of views is a really good way for you to just kind of from the get-go, set up your campaign kind of page in your HubSpot portal to best fit you and your individual needs for that campaign. So staying on with planning, we have the asset tab. So when you go into your kind of initial campaign page, you will have across the top your performance and your asset tab, which is quite a new feature. And you can see I've circled that here. This can be accessed when you click into an individual campaign from your initial kind of campaign homepage, if you like, and it offers a slight breakdown where you can access the performance and assets in there as well as tasks. So assets is like you can see on there, sorry, it's a new feature, and what it can do basically is, so my video has, oh, it's still playing, I believe. So basically what it can do is it's great for planning. So when it comes to initially kind of gathering all of the content that you've got for your campaigns, which I appreciate can be quite a lot, you can basically put it all into this one place in your assets tab. So it's great for planning. It can be a place where you can keep your drafts as well. So if you have any draft content, so draft blog posts, a draft email that you've kind of like started, just, you know, general kind of content that is not quite ready to be published yet, but it's there and it is linked to your campaign. This can be viewed in your assets tab, and it will show as long as it's linked to your campaign. You can also have kind of your tasks as well created around your campaign, associated and shown in your assets tab. So any kind of tasks that you have amongst you and your team that are based around the campaign. So for example, you might have a task, one of your marketing members may have to set one of your social media ads live at a certain date, or they need to maybe proofread something before it gets published that is linked to your campaign. They can do that and they'll be notified of that within this kind of area here. So there is actually, moving on nicely to the comment feature. So the comment feature is actually, if you can see on this video that's playing, on the side tab where my mouse is heading to there, the comments is on the kind of side tab there. And you can basically comment for your team member that you're working with on the campaign about certain things that need addressing, certain things that need kind of looking at, and they can then get notified of this comment about a particular thing in this in your kind of asset page. So for example, a particular post, a particular kind of landing page or piece of content that needs addressing, that needs renewing or needs proofing, and you can simply just put a comment to your team member and you can kind of see all that down your side tab, which is a really, really nice touch. So basically you can add all of the assets that you've created or that you want to create towards this campaign in the top left corner, which will be shown, I believe, on another slide. So I will make sure to show you that visually, but you can actually basically add any assets to your asset page from this page. So say, for example, if you have created a email template linked to this campaign, but it's not on your asset page just yet, you can manually add it, go on and add it from this page, which is really nice. Okay, so when it comes to obviously the sidebar, so you've seen the comment feature, there is also a calendar feature and a task feature. So I like to call this the collaboration sidebar because this basically is an area where you and your team have a complete overview of your campaign. You can see exactly what assets are going to be making up your campaign individually. You can see each one as it stands, if it is on draft form, if it's published, if it's an email that's been sent, and you can see the statistics and metrics based on each individual thing. So say, for example, if you're looking to kind of review some things before they go live, you can do so and you can kind of interact with your team members and liaise amongst each other to discuss any tasks that need doing, so anything that needs updating or changing. The calendar view as well shows a really nice overall view of all tasks that have been notified and been created by yourself or team members based around this specific campaign only. It will also show you things like any deadlines, any posts that you have coming up that are scheduled and linked to this campaign, and it will all show in your calendar view in this kind of sidebar here. Which is really, really nice for you just to have a look at a glance. So it's a great place for your team to have an overall view and to basically manage your campaign really effectively whilst communicating in a nice, tidy and neat platform. Okay, so goal setting. So obviously, as I mentioned at the start, your goal setting is going to be one of the initial things that you do when you start a campaign. So obviously it's important to set your measurable goals, assign your team roles, and establish your resources from the get-go. So this feature in HubSpot is basically where you are on the individual campaign. So you go click into your individual campaign, and you can see basically on the actions button on the top of the drop down, you can see there's an option that says edit goals. I've got it kind of as a kind of blank non-moving picture here, and it's highlighted just on that little list there. So you can see edit goals. When you click on edit goals, you will see this other picture on the right come up, and it says edit campaign goals, and it then allows you to set your individual campaign goals very specifically down to certain figures, and literally save them to your campaign in HubSpot. So once those goals have been saved, they will be visible, and you can see them in the top there in the middle kind of image or video. It will say underneath the campaign title, it will say goals, along with your budget, audience, and things like that. So another interesting aspect is you can basically obviously put all of your specific numbers in there, such as your amounts of sessions, your influence contacts, your closed deals, your revenue closed deals that you'd like, that you're aiming for this campaign. And you can be as ambitious as you like. And once you have these set, these targets will then, which I think is a really nice touch, they will show against your contact attributions. So if I kind of show you in this video that's playing now, so obviously you have your actions, you will then go on to edit your goals. That's where you put in all your specific numbers, that you have, influence contacts, closed deals, influence revenue. You'd save it, and as soon as you do that, it will appear on the top, and then on this bar that I have got my mouse under there on the screen, and you can see of each kind of figure of your goals shows underneath that kind of bar against your actual numbers. So as your campaign starts to go live and then your numbers and figures start to come in, you will see your kind of updated figures and attributions against the goals that you've set. So you can always see how your campaign is doing, if it is running in line with your goals, if it's running behind, if it's running well. And that is also a nice indicator that you may need to kind of change or amend some things based on how they're performing. Okay, so obviously it's great to set a quantifiable goal for the campaign, like a specific sales figure, a number of new leads, or something that you like to aim for, like an increase in certain areas around the school. So maybe a certain increase in maybe early years or something like that, early years recruitments. You can also look at return of investments, site traffic. So for example, you can set a goal figure for the amount of new contacts you wish to get from a campaign, which is a really useful tool. So when it comes to campaign execution in HubSpot, I actually put the team comments in this as well, because you can also use this for execution. It's a really good way to communicate with your team throughout your campaign. So once everything's been set live, you can actually then look into maybe looking at the content that is being posted throughout the time frame of your campaign running. As we know, your content is going to be posted, or emails are going to go out, forms are going to be published and things along the way as your campaign is running. So you can then use that kind of comments tool really effectively throughout the campaign, not just for the kind of pre-planning. So you can ask members of your team to action certain adjustments based on the insights that are provided to you. So for example, the Facebook display ad needs to be paused due to a cost per click issue. And you can put that in and tag a teammate and say, can you do this for me? And the way you'll see that is from looking into your insights, which are also available on this page. So you can actually comment on individual assets for team members. So you can see the general sidebar of comments, but if you see in this kind of circled image on the left, it will show you individual kind of assets. So here we've got some email assets that are linked to a campaign. We have the title, the status, which is sent, and then you have a comments section as well. And this comment section is great for kind of adding specific comments to your teammates, specifically about that email. So, you know, the sidebar can be for general comments about the campaign as a whole, maybe, or maybe, you know, you can schedule an overview meeting or something like that in those kind of overall comments sidebars. But if it's something that's more specific and related to a particular blog post or an email, then that is when this particular kind of area of comments linked to a set asset work really, really well. So it's great for team management and just a general overview to make sure that your campaign is always performing consistently. Oh, I think I just skipped a few slides. I do apologize. Team comments. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so sorry, I just gave you a preview there. Okay, so the use of another kind of aspect that I would like to mention here as well is the use of marketing tasks in HubSpot. When it comes to campaigns, tasks is one of the best tools you can use. It's great for internal team management to be able to set tasks for your team members, but also, and this is something that I use quite a lot, to set reminders for yourself. Obviously, some campaigns may run over a set amount of time, and in that time there may be certain points where you have to update or you have to publish new content around that campaign. So if you haven't already kind of pre-scheduled things and you're doing things in real time, or maybe you might have a mixture of those, you know, pre-planned content and real-time content, those little kind of reminders are a really good way just to keep on top of it, as I appreciate, you know, a lot's going on in the campaign for the whole team, as well as your day-to-day job. So it's nice to kind of have those reminders coming in. So you can create things like task queues for individual team members, such as, you know, there could be tasks like complete this blog, schedule a social media post or a bit of content, draft a new marketing email, or maybe proof this landing page that I've just created for the campaign to be released on this date. So there can be all sorts of different types of tasks that you and your team can really utilize for each other. And you can then see it all, if it's queued especially, in a list of tasks where you can tick them off as you go along. So obviously you can set tasks throughout the campaign as reminders, you can monitor and manage them throughout. And then as you go along, one of the most satisfying things is when you can tick your task off and you know that it's done, and you can move on to the next one. So you can see here just some examples I've put on here. So we have reminders to the next action step. You can also have them to be used within workflows. So you can create workflows, and you can basically then set a task to be a kind of point in the workflow. So for example, if a contact has clicked on a form that's linked to this campaign, then automatically set your marketing team a task to do, and then like another action, which is a really nice way to keep on top of things and manage those people who are engaging in your campaign, which obviously, and again, I'm sure you will know this, will lead to much, much, much better conversion rates. So you can obviously use these really, really effectively within your team, and you can check things such as obviously email engagements and landing page visits and downloads, all through the art of setting tasks to even just a little kind of heads up and say, review your engagement rates on this campaign for the past week, or weekly updates and things like that that may slip your mind very easily. And trust me, I know how easy that is when you're working in a school. There are so many things to do, and the thing is with HubSpot is your campaign will pretty much run itself once you do the initial kind of planning and sorting. So that's the good news. But you can also have it be a kind of extra team member, and it can kind of give you a heads up when you need to check in on something. So that's always handy as well. Okay, so when it comes to campaign reporting in HubSpot, Performance Insights is a fantastic tool. So when you go into your campaigns page in your HubSpot dashboard, you will see that across the top there is performance before assets. And so if you go on the performance insights, it basically gives you a overview of how your campaign is doing. So this feature is best to be used when your campaign is live, so you can track exactly what is going on throughout, and this can be monitored once the campaign has been set live, and you can obviously revisit it at any time to just consistently review what's going on with your campaign and any progress. So the assets are actually sectioned, if you can see in this video. They're individually sectioned to give individual metrics on how they're performing on a separate basis, which is really, really nice touch. So you can see there on the screen, we have ad campaigns separately, and they have a breakdown of the contacts, clicks, and the spend. You have the same with emails, sent, unique opens, and unique clicks. And then the same again with landing pages. So you have the views, the submissions of any forms on your landing pages, and your contacts first kind of touch. So you get a really nice breakdown for each individual asset that makes up your campaign. And this provides a fantastic view of basically where you're at in your campaign. You can compare these with your goals that you set in the planning stage and the figures against real-time kind of numbers and engagements that are kind of being updated all the time on this page. Once this page, now the image that I've shown you in the video on this page is based off a demo portal, so I do apologize, there isn't a lot of data on this particular video, but if there was any data on this page, you would see a graph where it says contacts, and it will actually show you a graph that will give you an insight into the contact numbers who have interacted with your marketing assets as a whole. And then it will also give you a option to view the website session data as well in that space. This is great to obviously review regularly and to make amendments where needed throughout your campaign. So it's a really, really nice one once your campaign has obviously been planned and it's been put live, and then just kind of go back and use the reports, because like we know, the campaigns are things that will run over a period of time, and in that period of time they take a lot of upkeep. You have to make sure that your campaign is doing what it's supposed to. If there's any kind of glitches in what you have put together, if things aren't working as well as what you'd hoped and you'd like to amend something or try something different, such as your budget spend on your social ads, for example, and it's just a little bit of trial and error, as we all know. So this is a really, really great tool, because rather than kind of have that guesswork of going back and forth and changing certain aspects of your campaign just to see if it works better, you can actually literally see for yourself based on, well, down to the numbers, what is working and what maybe isn't working as well as what you'd hoped. So that's a really nice tool to use. Okay, so staying on the campaign reporting in HubSpot, tracking URLs is a very, very popular feature that HubSpot has. This is actually best used, obviously, again, when your campaign is live, and it's basically a great way for you to know exactly where your traffic is coming from. So you can see in the video that you can access your campaign tracking URLs in your campaign kind of page. So when you click on an individual campaign, there is a little kind of option. If I see when the video starts again, if I just wait for the video to restart, you'll see where I kind of got to there. But when you click on the create a tracking URL, if I just start it again, you'll see there under actions, create tracking URL. So what this does is you would normally put in the URL of your website and specify the traffic sources that your website views may come from. So what you would say is, you say, like, obviously your website page or your landing page or a particular kind of blog post maybe, and then you can put basically then what source you would like to track. So what it does is it not only just tracks your overall general views, it separates those views for campaign specific people. So it will basically say anybody who came to your homepage from a paid social ad that is linked to your campaign, it will track those people and those people only. So you can say the same for a blog post, and it basically will just segment those visitors who came from a particular asset that you've posted and created linked to that campaign only. So it's really great for tracking individual assets based on your campaign. So you can maybe see how many website visits you got from your blog post, how many website visits you got from a LinkedIn post, as you can see on there as an example. You can also, there's lots of other aspects you can include on here as well. I'll just show you the video one more time. So you go on the actions there, you type in your web page that you'd like to track, and then you would select the campaign that you're tracking on the drop down along with the source. So we're going to go with, I think we went with paid social on this one, or paid, did I go for paid social? I did. Paid social, and I think we went with LinkedIn. So then you can see any basically any the traffic that comes from the paid for LinkedIn ad that goes directly to this homepage. And then again, you can specify again even more with the UTM term and the UTM content. So you can say the term could be from a certain LinkedIn account, and you can kind of break it down even further like that. So it's a really, really good tool for reporting and just getting more specific data, as the only issues with a lot of other kind of CRMs at the moment is that they don't give you those really in-depth insights. They'll tell you you have website visits, this amount, but you don't know where they came from, or just where their original sources came from, basically. And then you can't kind of then segment it further and say who came from certain aspects, certain assets that you have created linked to certain campaigns, whereas now you can. So this is a really good tool, and I'm sure a lot of you will be able to utilize that tool after this session. Okay, so campaign reporting in HubSpot. So there are also general reporting tools that you can use towards your campaigns in HubSpot. If you go into your reports kind of tab on the very top kind of bar on your HubSpot, and then go on to analytics tools, you can select campaign analytics, and it basically gives you a page, and it will basically show you on that page a breakdown of your kind of campaign reporting, basically your campaign insights. So as you can see, once you click onto it, it will show you all of your influence contacts, and you can then break it down yearly, monthly. You can say again, maybe some specific date ranges, and it will give you an overall view. You can search for specific campaigns, and then each one is there for you to click on and then see further insights into. But again, you can use your general reporting tools to build dashboards that show campaign insight data, and everything that you build can be completely personalized. Each report can be made from scratch. So that's another way for you to get a general overview of your campaign reporting, and is a really nice thing to run alongside the campaign tools specifically. So in HubSpot, you can do a lot with your tools and get a really, really in-depth insight into your campaign to basically just ensure that those conversion rates are high. And you can see why they are with the kind of data that you can get from HubSpot, along with the planning tools that are in there as well. Okay, so the benefits of campaign planning in HubSpot. This is a very kind of brief breakdown of how you can benefit from all the tools that we've just mentioned, basically. So number one, I would say, is easier team orchestration. So I know that especially in schools, it can be difficult to work effectively within a team. You have obviously your admissions, your marketing, your finance teams, your senior leadership team, and everybody wants different things and works in different ways. So campaigns require, to be fair, a bit of everybody's inputs from all angles. So it's a really great way to basically help your team to easily plan and execute and collaborate on the different assets on a scalable and productive way. It also enhances your customer experience by utilizing campaign automation and orchestration, so you can obviously show the right content to the right person at the right time. This also creates a delightful customer experience, which is always what we aim for, and helps drive better outcomes for your campaigns. Which leads on nicely to your higher conversions. So HubSpot marketing and Marketing Hub professional and enterprise customers who actually use the campaign tools saw there was a 62% more website traffic than those who didn't use the campaign tools. There were also interesting stats as well that showed that those who used the campaign tools, on average, 72% more contacts were made as opposed to those who didn't use the campaign analytics tools. So there's some very significant data in there as well. So there's a few other things that I'd like to just touch on, as I know we're getting a bit tight for time, so I will just quickly brush over some other aspects here. But these are just other things to consider, a bit more general really, on how to create your marketing assets in HubSpot. Okay, so when you're creating the content for your campaigns in HubSpot, there is a lot of kind of further tools you can use to really help you kind of build on those in the most effective ways. So when you're creating your blogs in HubSpot, as you are writing your blogs in HubSpot, it always down the kind of sidebar will show you if you are using things like your keywords right, if you're maybe having your SEO tools, if your SEO is supported by this blog post. Say, for example, if you're using certain keywords or you're pulling any kind of ideas and inspiration from your topic cluster tools, which are also available in HubSpot. And as well, including your call to action buttons, which are also and can also be embedded as an asset in your campaign, are a great way for blog posts to really lead to a conversion. So things such as, open days, you can have like open day campaign blog post with keywords such as open event, September recruitment, plus a call to action that says book a visit on our open day. The draft mode as well gives you an optimization of your titles. If your title is a little bit long, it will tell you, and it will kind of recommend a kind of length of your title, which best benefits your general SEO. So there's some really great ways for it to be used. When it comes to creating social posts in HubSpot for your campaigns, these tie in nicely with your blog posts and original content. So, for example, a throwback picture from the school's first open event when it opened can then link to a event sign up form, for example, and a blog. And all of these different and separate assets can all be linked to your campaign, and they support one another and your campaign. So it's a really nice way to tie them all in together. So another kind of thing that we're going to look at is creating landing pages in HubSpot. So obviously you can create your landing pages in HubSpot, which is obviously a really, really useful tool. It's great to link in your marketing emails, so you can kind of get people to kind of visit these landing pages through forms, through marketing emails. And they're a great way to give your prospects information that's more specific to their interests and the thing you're trying to get them to do. So, for example, if it's on alumni, you could have a page about your alumni stories and a submission for any alumni who this may be targeting to submit a form and fill out their own story. It can also include further actions such as form registrations, downloads, and so on. Which leads us on nicely to creating forms. So when you're creating forms, obviously it's always good to link your forms to your overall goal. So if you have an overall goal for your campaign that is, for example, nice and easy one, open days, and you have a form that registers them, your prospects for an open day, then obviously that form is supporting your overall goal. But you can have some more kind of complex links as well from forms, such as if it was maybe a form that asks you to give your views on the school or your experience in the school, or share a story that is then used for content for social media posts, or links to a campaign that will support the end goal. That could be also a way that you could link it together. Marketing emails. So again, you have to consider your goals. What do you want this email to accomplish towards your goals? You can use your segmentation of lists to market effectively based on property information and behaviours. So, for example, you can send the open event invite to all parents that are interested in sport at the school, with information on sport, clubs, recent events, and things like that. When it comes to the automation tools in HubSpot, you basically can obviously use them for consistent communications, to enhance the prospect's journey, which again can help towards your overall campaign goals. If your goal is to get people to sign up for an event or to register to join your school, then those workflows can obviously greatly support that journey. Okay, so just a few tips on the best uses of campaigns for schools. So we have ideas that you can obviously, I'm sure you all use these already, but good ideas for creating campaigns could be around your annual events. So you could have campaigns based on your open events, your alumni management, international engagement and shows, even something as specific as early years recruitment, as that's in itself. I remember the school I used to work in, I briefly had a period where I was in charge of the international recruitment, and then at another time I was in charge of the early years recruitment. So it was a really nice kind of change, and it's nice to be able to mix that up and see what types of content work best for different areas in the school. So another one is to utilize all of the campaign assets in HubSpot. So all of these assets basically form an effective campaign, and these are all listed within HubSpot in the assets tool page, which is a really great, obviously, planning page, as we discussed. So you can see there you have so many options to choose from, and it will list them all so you don't miss any out. Or you may, when you're planning, think, oh, actually, yes, I could include a call to action or a list or something like that. Lists are a really good one to use. For example, if your customers, say, downloaded a particular prospectus, like an early years prospectus, they can be added to an active list of, prospects for early years interest for September. And from that list, you can then create an audience that is, for one of your social ads, based on that list. You can literally create an audience based on that list, or a lookalike audience based on that list's demographics and the types of kind of behaviors that they have, in order to find new prospects. And again, this all kind of supports your overall campaign delivery. Okay. So obviously, again, we touched on reports, so you can use HubSpot for comparative data and reports. So you can basically review the best performing assets that you had in previous campaigns, and maybe clone them for another event. So if you have an open event, obviously a series of open events, and you had all these campaigns for like December open event, March open event, and then like a July open event, and you can see like a clear difference between them, or a correlation between, in December open events, this type of content works best, and you can clone those ideas based on the performance data you get from HubSpot, and do it again or do it in a different way. And you can actually also use it the other way and pinpoint the things that don't work, as well as maybe even use these types of data to say that is the best time of year to do that for this campaign, and do it that way. So that was an overview of more of an overview, it's more in-depth, view of your HubSpot tools and how you can really utilize them to help with your education marketing. So you can plan, execute, and report using those campaign tools that are so amazing in HubSpot, and all in one nice tidy place for you and your team to fully utilize. So there's a lot of free resources on this session that we're going to leave you with. So you'll have the HubGem resource, which is a education campaign planner, which is a download template where you can literally fill it out based on your own individual campaigns. You can use it for multiple campaigns. It's a really great way just to kind of start, really, and to get your ideas down on paper or on a spreadsheet, just to use some of the things that we've learned today and really put them into practice. It's good if you're kind of choosing a different path and a way to organize your campaigns. HubSpot Academy courses. I know there are a lot of HubSpot Academy courses, but we've chosen a particular one that's just purely built around building a marketing campaign. This is great if you have maybe just got HubSpot and you're not really sure, or you haven't really used the campaign tools before, and you'd like a nice introduction to ease you into how to access the tools and how best to use them. Obviously, pairing with this particular Hug event here will be a really nice way for you to get started. A HubSpot resource that we'd like to provide you with as well is the Ultimate Guide to Marketing Campaigns, which is a really, really in-depth report and guide to help you fully kind of understand and maybe just kind of revisit new ways of doing your campaigns. So, may I ask, thank you so much for listening. I know it was quite a long presentation, but we do have the last 5 minutes for a Q&A. So may I ask if anybody has any questions at all that they would like to ask? I know Maddie's been looking at the kind of comments throughout, so thank you for that, Maddie. Do we have any kind of questions at all that you would like to ask based on what I've been talking about? Let's have a look. Oh, there is some in the Q&A. Sorry, I'm just trying to access the Q&A. For some reason, Oh, here we go. Lovely. Sorry, Maddie, was you going to help me there?
I was going to read them out for you.
Oh, sorry. I've just seen it there. Sorry, I've got this tab. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so once you have set goals, can you update and change them during your campaign? Yes, you can. So once you have set them once, you can alter things on your campaigns as you go along. So as you're kind of going back and reviewing the data and your metrics on the campaigns, you can actually go into your edit goals tab on the individual campaign, and you can amend them a little bit if you think they might have been a little bit off, or you'd like to, or maybe it was doing better than you thought it would. You'd like to make them even bigger, which is amazing. But yeah, you can definitely change them once it's been set. And another question, how about compliance to GDPR? If we are targeting using campaigns, how is this covered? Okay, so when you initially set up your HubSpot portal, and we do go through this in our onboarding for schools, we basically will ask you to initially set up all of your kind of privacy and consent within your HubSpot portal. Once you set that up it's like a general setting in your portal, then everything that you do in HubSpot is GDPR compliant. So when you're sending out your marketing emails, when you are targeting as well, it will only target those people who have accepted cookies, who have given you their email addresses, and they have not opted out. They're all like subscribed in some way to your sales or your marketing communications. Any contacts you have unsubscribed or kind of not allowed the cookies when they go onto your website will not be included in any of your campaign content and targeting. Do we have any more questions at all? No? Okay. Okay, that's okay. I know I have spoken a lot, so I do apologise if I've if I've spoken so much and you probably are a little bit kind of, that's a lot of information to take in a short space of time. But this will be available for you to view. Oh, thank you so much, Saraya. Oh, and you too, Debbie. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Okay, that's great. I really enjoyed that with you all. Okay, so the next steps then, if we just go on to the next slide. So next, I would suggest, and this will be in your email that you'll get after this session. There'll be a link for you to access our. We have a at HubGem a marketing and admissions blog, which is full, and I mean full, of in-depth insights into tips and tools for education marketing in HubSpot using the tools available. You can also request a free HubSpot portal audit with education-specific actionables, which myself and the HubGem team will be able to provide for you. And there will be a link with a form if you would like a free audit. So we basically go into your HubSpot and analyze to make sure you're using all the tools properly, and then write some recommendations and suggestions for better use. Obviously, you have your free resources to enjoy after this, and this will all be included in your email after this session, as well as the recording. We do have a series of next Hug sessions, which you're welcome to book from. We currently have our next event live, which you're welcome to book onto, which is a very special event, and I'm very excited about this one. This is going to be with Dan Tyre, the infamous Dan Tyre, who is an amazing HubSpot person. He is very high up in HubSpot, and he has a great personality. He is so much fun and has a lot of fun props, which I'm sure you'll see when you come, or if you come to that one. But we're going to be looking at the marketing and admissions, but we've always done it this way, breaking down the barrier to better collaboration in 2022. We have another two next year in January, and another and February, sorry. So one a month, and all of the event details and those events will be live in the next few weeks. But you can currently just book onto the Dan Tyre one for now, which is on the first week of December. Okay then, so thank you so much for attending this session. I really enjoyed this session and having you all here. I really appreciate you all coming and giving me this time. I will again send you the recording at the end, but for now, everybody take care, and I will see you all very soon, hopefully. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lester. Bye.